Something that I very quickly realized and learned when bringing Puppy home was what my non-negotiables are in order to stay sane in my mind and also regulated in my body. Because he has been a handful. We brought him home at just 8 weeks, so he was really, really little, and the first day that he came home, he was actually trying to nurse underneath Silo, and so we had to keep separating them, and he would just give off these little whimpers, and I could tell it was because he was missing his mom and his siblings, his pack members, and yeah, he's such a sweetie, but holy guacamole, I do not remember Silo ever being that much of a handful. We have not had the best sleep. We are crate training him, and I'm also crate training Silo for the first time ever in his life, and he's 6 years old, which is actually going incredibly well. I attribute really why it's going well for both dogs, just all the good things in the dog dynamics, to this training program that I went through back in the summer, which just changed my whole wiring around how to operate with dogs. Yeah, it's been going really, really smooth, but I definitely have needed to make sure that I am getting out of the house and going for a walk with Silo to just keep our relationship strong, even if that means the puppy is in his crate, which he's been doing really good with. But the first few days, like, I didn't want to leave him alone at all, and I was just losing my mind because I've been so full on with a puppy, and then trying to like squeeze in work here and there. It's been a lot. But another thing that's been really beautiful to experience is this maternal energy that is just pouring through me, which I have been on this journey of cultivating self-compassion and compassion in general, and this like warm, mothering embrace energy towards myself and others for the last 5 years now. And I've always been like a very loving person. Like, I love animals, I love people, I love life, but this like warm emotional embrace of like, it's just different. And so it's been really beautiful to see that stream through me with this puppy, just the way that I relate to him and love him and care for him so much. Yeah, it's like equal parts I'm excited to be a mom one day, and also it's just not yet. It's still around the corner. So I just got off of 2 different calls. One was with my personal mentor. We have bi-weekly energy sessions together where she helps me reconnect with myself. It's kind of hard to put into words what we do, so I just call it energy sessions. And then the second call was with a coaching client of mine. I wanted to share something with you that actually this mentor helped me with a couple of months ago, when it was actually after one of my retreats that I hosted in Hawaii, and I just was feeling very spacey and out of my center, like kind of like, where am I? And yeah, I feel like I was in a mega freeze and just unable to really function properly. And so I reached out for a spontaneous session. This woman helped point me to this one simple practice, which is just essential for me and my system and how I operate, and probably will be too for you if you are someone who dissociates or gets spacey or just kind of like loses yourself in the sauce of life and other people's energy. And it is to have my feet on the ground at all times. Now, this sounds so simple and normal, but I have pretty much for my entire life had my knees up, whether it's just like one knee up and the other like just my toes touching. I am actually under 5 feet tall. And so it's more comfortable for me to actually sit with my legs up like this or to sit cross-legged because my feet don't touch the floor if my back is to the back of most chairs that exist. And so my mentor was asking me like, how often are your feet on the ground? And just telling me how essential that is to remain located where I am and not get completely lost and swept up, but to remain here. And we did a variety of other things too. But anyway, she shared with me to just put a pillow underneath my feet, like until I get a desk chair situation that works for me, that lets my feet touch the floor with ease. Like right now, I have to be on the edge of this chair for my feet to touch the floor, but it's nice to be able to lean back. So I have a meditation cushion now underneath my chair here, and it has changed my life, you guys. This may sound so crazy, but not just when I'm sitting at this desk, but really all the time. I'm aware of this now. So if I go and sit in the living room, I'm noticing as soon as I put a foot up and I'm like, wait a minute, no, I gotta keep my feet on the ground, and it makes a difference. It allows me to feel the lower half of my body and to feel myself here and present in this moment without just getting lost and spacey. And then especially when I am hosting or when I'm facilitating client sessions, having my feet grounded, I've realized just gives me so much more stability and depth for where we go in the sessions. It's really, really wild, and was definitely a blind spot for me, something that I just didn't really think about. I think that would make that big of a difference. But for me, like, I've studied a lot about the survival patterns. One of my favorite books is The 5 Personality Patterns by Stephen Kessler, who I actually mentored with one-on-one. I have studied how our energy goes different places in order to cope with overwhelm. And so for some people, when they get overwhelmed, they get really dissociated. For other people, they hunker down and they hide deep down within. And there's a lot of other things too, but those two different energies are going 2 different places. So for me, as somebody who tends to go up and out into like fantasy world or just like spaciness, it is my medicine and my work at this lifetime to integrate my energy down, and one of the ways that I can do that is by having my feet on the ground. Whereas for other people who their energy like goes inward and sticks down in, it's their work to express themselves and to actually fill the space with themselves and to create those energetic boundaries. Anyway, if this is resonating with you and you want to learn more, I actually did just create and release a free 5-day nervous system reset, where that's really the lens that I taught it through, is through these different survival patterns that we go into. So we go through 5 different ones over the 5 days, and I give you somatic and energetic practices to help you, depending on which patterns you resonate with, start to integrate those parts of yourself so that you can have a strong, healthy sense of self. So that's a lot of the work that I've been doing on myself over the last 5+ years, and I'm very passionate about it. This is my go-to snack when I'm in a crunch for time. soft-boiled a bunch of eggs, probably like 10 or a dozen of them yesterday. And now I'm about to head to a friend's house in just a little bit, but I'm hungry and we're probably gonna go get a snack at my favorite restaurant. I ran out of truffle sauce, like the truff sauce. Actually, I feel like I should do this one first. So we just have sriracha. He's asking to go outside. We need to go outside, puppy. Good job. Good job. So precious. So I wanted to give you guys a thorough dog update since this is a puppy vlog right after this. Okay, so first thing, do the dogs get along? You guys who have been here for a while and you know Psilo, you probably are wondering what's the deal, how are they getting along? So I was so intentional with how I introduced the two dogs. Me 6 years ago or 5 years ago when I got Psilo, if I was to introduce a puppy, I probably would have, if I'm being honest, I probably would have done the whole like trending, like pull a puppy out of a box and like film the whole thing. And since I went through this dog training program, Silo's here by the way, I have learned how to be a more responsible dog owner and how to actually know dog dynamics. Oh my gosh, I need to make sure. Puppy! Silo, come. I swear I have mom's instinct with this guy. Well, and with Silo too. I thought he was getting up to no good. I thought he was eating my plant outside, which he's already eaten like a fourth of it, and I really wanted to survive because I've had it for such a long time, but he was eating something else. Yes, I know. Okay. Oh gosh, there's dirt all over the counter. Lovely. Okay, anyway, I introduced them intentionally. Luke and I did that together on the first day Puppy was home, and we got him all acclimated. We just really took our time with it, and I thought that Silo was going to be obsessed with this puppy. I think because when I lived with my best friend Carly and her husband Castle, back when I lived in Colorado and they got a little Aussie puppy, Silo was obsessed, like following this puppy around, being like the dad of this puppy. It was so cute. And that was when Silo was like 1 or so. But now he's 6, so he has matured, and he was way more standoffish. He was like, I don't want to be near this puppy, and just like turning his head away, not looking at him, like walking away. But since I went through this program, I was prepared for that and was like, this is totally fine, and I need to advocate for Silo and not like push the puppy upon him and try and make them best friends immediately. So I was really, attuned through the whole thing. And well, we're still just over a week in, and they are, like, Silo has warmed up to him. He still has boundaries, like Silo doesn't want the puppy directly in his face, but they're doing really well together. And there's been a couple of times where they've kind of got into play mode together, but since Puppy is so little, Silo could literally crush him. So I kind of stop it before they can really roughhouse, but I have a feeling once Puppy is bigger, they are going to be really good friends. Okay, I'm about to head out. I've got this little guy here. We are going a literal 2-minute drive down the road to my friend's house. And before I get going, I just wanted to share with you that on my client call that I had earlier, one of the things that came up, which I feel like is so common in this day and age, is the difference between processing emotions mentally and processing emotions within your body, which is actually processing emotions. Wow, that looks so pretty. The difference between like rationalizing and thinking like, well, why do I feel anxious and how can I prevent that from happening next time and what can I do about this? It's like you're cutting yourself off. I always like to draw like a line where the head is. It's like the emotions live in the body and you're popping yourself up. You're disconnecting your presence from the actual emotion. And so nothing's actually processing in your body. You're just looping or rationalizing and kind of dealing with it. There's a big difference when you actually just start checking in with your body and not need to have any mental processing or understanding or context of what's going on, but you just track the direct sensation. Oh, I notice I just took a deeper breath. I notice my chest feels contracted. I notice that there's a lump in my throat. And you're just tracking what's actually happening inside of your body. And you can call it anxiety, you can call it fear, you can call it anger. Sometimes actually getting beyond any labels and anything at all and just being with the somatic experience, the experience in your body, and breathing and being present with it and allowing it, allows it to move through. Like emotions process quite quickly. And so if you're stuck in a loop or you're stuck in a certain emotional experience and you're trying to figure it out or fix it or make it go away, you're probably prolonging it and actually keeping it alive. I don't know who needs to hear this, but processing emotions in the body is life-changing. Unfortunately, it's not something that most of us learned how to do in childhood, but I do believe times are changing, and the more people who are doing this work within themselves, the more that they can demonstrate that and be the walking embodiment of it for others, so that eventually other people start asking, like, how do you handle emotions and change and uncertainty and overwhelming moments with so much ease? Like, how do you do that? I get triggered. Help me figure it out, Not by, being an activist to everyone, but just sharing what works for you. Oh my god, he just crossed his little feet. Aww.
Does this conflict?
No.
This is like a cradle.
All right, my friend, this is gonna wrap up the video because it's already quite long. Speak of him. It has officially been 3.5 weeks with this guy. He's already quite a bit bigger, and we decided to name him Loki because he is quite the handful, quite mischievous, and he's just a little wild one, and we love him so much. Such a sweetie. Yes, I know. You want to jump and play and do all the things. Quick update, Psilo and him are getting along wonderfully. All things are good over here. All right, that's gonna wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah!